A Brazilian judge overturned a ruling that forced Apple to open up its store. Waymo announced it's expanding to Miami. And PUBG creator Brendan Greene just announced a handful of new games. It's Friday, December 6th, and this is Engadget News. Last week, Brazil's antitrust regulator CADE ordered Apple to allow users to download apps and make purchases from outside its app store, with a 20-day deadline and fines for not complying. Now, a Brazilian federal court has overturned that injunction, ruling that it was disproportionate and unnecessary. That's according to a new report from 9 to 5 Mac. CADE ordered Apple to allow third-party developers to tell users about alternative ways to make in-app purchases, so developers would not be forced to pay Apple a commission. It also demanded that Apple open up its ecosystem to other stores or allow sideloading. If Apple didn't comply within 20 days, it faced a fine of 250,000 real, around $43,000 per day. Now, Apple appealed that ruling on the grounds that the charges would be too difficult to implement within that time frame, and the court agreed. A judge ruled that the technical complexity of the changes and the global regulatory impacts in similar decisions in other regions, such as the European Union, reinforced the need for such changes to be discussed in greater depth. CADE began its investigation following a complaint by local e-commerce company Mercado Libre, which accused Apple of anti-competitive behavior. The regulator can appeal the ruling and still force Apple to comply. Get ready to have that Will Smith song stuck in your head for the rest of the day, because the autonomous taxi company Waymo is going to Miami. Yeah, sorry about that. Waymo announced its plans to go to Miami on its official Waypoint blog. The expansion will start early next year as the company gets its fleet of self-driving Jaguar I-Pace EVs familiar with Miami streets and intersections. Then in 2026, Waymo plans to start offering rides to customers through the Waymo One app. Waymo is also partnering with the African startup Move as part of its expansion plans. Move provides vehicles for ride-sharing services. Waymo wants Move to manage its fleet operations, its facilities, and its charging infrastructure, first in Phoenix and eventually in Miami. The Waymo One app currently operates in parts of San Francisco, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Austin. Waymo secured $5.6 billion in funding in October to expand to Austin and Atlanta by the early part of next year. Brendan Greene is largely credited with making the iconic PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, also known as PUBG, and inventing the entire battle royale genre. We knew he left PUBG's publisher to form an independent studio back in 2021, but now we know what he's been working on the past few years. His studio, PlayerUnknown Productions, is prepping a handful of titles, which it refers to as an ambitious 3-game plan. First up, there's Prologue, Go Way Back, which is described as a single-player, open-world, emergent game within the survival genre. It uses the developer's in-house machine learning-driven terrain generation technology to create millions of maps. Now, these maps are also easy on the eyes, and we don't know much about the gameplay beyond the description and the aforementioned terrain generation technology. However, it's available to wishlist right now on Steam. The company says it will launch as an early access title sometime in the first half of next year, following a series of playtests. There's also a nifty-looking tech demo called Preface Undiscovered World. It's free and available to download right now. This demo is being released to showcase the company's in-house game engine called Melba. Preface allows players to explore an Earth-scale world generated in real time. Greene says that this digital planet is still quite empty for now, but every person who enters it and shares their feedback contributes to its future development. To that end, the Melba engine will be used to develop other games in the future. One such future game is called Artemis, which is described as a massive multiplayer sandbox experience. We don't know a whole lot about the title, except that it's likely years away. Greene says that his company will be releasing 2 unannounced games after Prologue go way back that will each address critical technical challenges that will help with the development of the more ambitious Artemis. In any event, it looks like PlayerUnknown Productions is certainly off to a promising start. Thanks for listening. There's more to these stories and additional articles at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Steve Dent, Danny Gallagher, and Lawrence Bonk, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer by me, Steve White. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back on Monday with more tech news from Engadget.